You're standing in a room where a crime just happened. The police are everywhere, looking for any clue. But then, someone finds it. A single fingerprint. You might think it's just a smudge, but to a forensic expert, it's a key that can unlock the entire mystery. Have you ever wondered how just one fingerprint can crack even the toughest case? How a swirl on someone's fingertip could be the reason they end up in court? Fingerprints are one of the most powerful tools in forensic science. They're used every day around the world to catch criminals, prove innocence, and bring justice. You see them in crime shows and movies, but the real science is even more fascinating. In this video, you're going to step into the world of fingerprint analysis. You'll learn how they're found, how they're read, and how they've changed the course of history. Imagine being a detective in the 1800s. No DNA, no security cameras, just your instincts. That's how crimes were solved, until fingerprints changed everything. You probably didn't know this, but fingerprints have been used for thousands of years. Ancient Babylonians pressed their fingertips into clay tablets to seal business deals. They didn't know it, but they were using a method that would one day change crime-solving forever. Fast forward to the 1800s, scientists started noticing that no two fingerprints are alike. Not even identical twins share the same prints. A man named Sir Francis Galton studied over 8,000 prints and found that each person's fingerprints were completely unique. In 1892, an Argentine detective named Juan Vucetich solved a brutal murder using fingerprint evidence. It was the first criminal case in history cracked by prints. Imagine that, catching a killer with nothing but a mark left behind. Since then, fingerprinting has helped solve some of the most important cases around the world. And now, you're going to learn how it works. Hold out your hand and look at your fingers. See those tiny swirls and loops? Those are your fingerprints, and they're completely yours. Nobody else in the world has the same pattern as you. That's what makes them so useful in solving crimes. When you're still growing in your mom's belly, your fingerprints start forming. They're shaped by your DNA, the pressure in the womb, and even how your fingers touch the walls of the uterus. That's why no two people's prints are exactly the same. There are three main types of fingerprint patterns: loops, whorls, and arches. Loops look like little waves. Whorls look like spirals. Arches look like tiny hills. Even though many people have similar types, the exact details, like how the ridges split or end, are totally unique. Now here's something cool. Your fingerprints don't change. Unless you burn them off, ouch, they'll stay the same from birth to death. That means a print you leave on a glass today can be used to identify you years from now. Every time you touch something, your skin leaves behind natural oils and sweat. Those prints can be invisible to the eye, but forensic experts know how to bring them to life. And that's where the science really kicks in. Let's say you're a forensic expert. You walk into a crime scene looking for prints. What do you do first? You start by looking at smooth surfaces like glass, doorknobs, or metal. These are the best places to find latent prints, those invisible smudges left behind. To see them, you might use black fingerprint powder and a special brush. You gently dust the surface, and boom, prints appear. Once you see the print, you lift it with clear tape and put it on a fingerprint card. That card is like a mini mystery that can tell you who was there. But what if the surface is too tricky, like paper or wood? Then you might use a chemical like ninhydrin or superglue fumes. Sounds weird, but it works. These chemicals react with the oils in the fingerprint and make them visible. These are traditional methods. Today, you also have digital scanners. At airports or police stations, you've probably seen someone press their fingers on a glass screen. That's a digital fingerprint. It's fast and super accurate. Both old and new methods have their place in solving crimes. Imagine a giant digital library filled with fingerprints. That's what the police use to catch criminals fast. The most famous database is called AFIS, the Automated Fingerprint Identification System. You might not have heard of it, but you've definitely seen it in action if you've watched crime shows. Here's how it works. Let's say you collect a fingerprint at a crime scene. You scan it into a computer. AFIS compares that print to millions of others in seconds. It looks at ridge endings, loops, and whorls, trying to find a match. If it finds one, the system sends back possible matches. Then, a real human expert steps in to double-check. That way, there's almost no chance of a mistake. AFIS helps connect crimes across states, even countries. If someone commits a crime in Texas and another in Florida, their prints can link the cases. Fingerprint databases have made solving crimes faster and smarter, and that's why they're one of the most powerful tools police have. Let's look at some real stories where fingerprints changed everything. One of the most famous is the Brandon Mayfield case in 2004. A bombing happened in Madrid, Spain, and a print was found on a bag of detonators. The FBI matched it to Mayfield, an American lawyer. It caused a big stir until Spanish police found the real bomber. Turns out, the prints looked similar but weren't exact. It showed the importance of always double-checking with experts. But there are success stories, too. In 1990, a man named Ronald Cotton was accused of a terrible crime. A woman picked him out in a lineup. But years later, a fingerprint found on a flashlight at the scene proved someone else did it. That saved an innocent man's life. Then there's the Tough case in California. A burglar kept breaking into homes but left barely any clues. Finally, he made a mistake. He touched a glass window. His fingerprint matched one in the AFIS system. When police arrested him, he confessed to 40 crimes. And let's not forget Francisca Rojas from Argentina in 1892. She murdered her 2 children and blamed someone else. But a bloody fingerprint on a doorframe proved she did it. It was the first time in history a fingerprint solved a murder. Each of these cases shows you something important. Fingerprints don't lie. They can protect the innocent and reveal the truth. And sometimes, they're the only thing standing between justice and a criminal getting away. Fingerprint science isn't always perfect. Imagine trying to read a book with only a few torn pages. That's what it's like working with partial prints. If someone only touches part of a surface, you might not get a full print to compare. That makes it harder to find a match. Then there's the environment. If it's raining or too hot, prints can smudge or disappear. Some surfaces, like fabric or rough wood, don't hold fingerprints well at all. Even digital tools aren't perfect. Computers can make mistakes, especially if 2 prints look alike. That's why humans still need to check results. There are also ethical questions. What if someone's print is found at a crime scene, but they were just visiting earlier? Fingerprints don't tell time. They can show who was there, but not when. So, while fingerprints are super helpful, they aren't magic. Forensic experts have to be careful and double-check everything. Fingerprint technology is getting smarter every year. Today, scientists are using lasers and 3D scans to capture every tiny detail of a fingerprint, even prints on wet surfaces or human skin. That means fewer missed clues and more solved cases. AI, artificial intelligence, is a big part of this. AI systems can look at millions of prints in seconds, spotting tiny differences humans might miss. Some machines can even guess which finger left the print and how it touched the surface. There are also mobile fingerprint scanners now. Police can scan your finger from a phone or tablet and check it against databases instantly. That's super helpful in the field. Some places are even using touchless fingerprinting. You don't have to touch anything. A camera scans your finger from a distance, making the process cleaner and faster. All these advances mean one thing for you. The future of fingerprint analysis is faster, smarter, and more accurate than ever before. But there's more to come. So, what does the future look like? You might see fingerprints used in totally new ways. Airports could scan your fingers from a distance. Phones might read your prints just by you waving your hand. Crime scenes could use smart drones to scan for evidence automatically. Scientists are also working on DNA fingerprint links. One day, they might be able to tell what someone looks like just from a single print. Hair color, eye color, even age. But with all this cool tech comes responsibility. Forensic experts need to make sure these tools are used fairly and don't invade privacy. The future is bright, but it needs careful hands to guide it. Maybe one day, that could be you. You've just explored the incredible world of fingerprint analysis. From ancient clay seals to high-tech scanners, fingerprints have helped solve crimes for over a century. They're silent witnesses, always present, always unique. A single print can tell a story no one else can. And as you've seen, that story can lead to justice, freedom, or even a second chance. Forensic science is more than just gadgets and labs. It's about asking the right questions, paying attention to small clues, and never giving up. Now that you know how fingerprints work, you'll never look at your hands the same way again. So, what do you think? Do fingerprints amaze you as much as they amaze crime scene investigators? Leave a comment below with your favorite fact from today's video. Or tell us, would you trust a fingerprint to prove someone's guilt or innocence? And hey, if you enjoyed this journey into forensic science, don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos all about crime solving, mystery solving tech, and true crime stories. Hit that like button if you learned something new, and share this video with someone who loves solving puzzles as much as you do. This is Curell Case Files. Thanks for watching. Now go out there and stay curious.